You ever scroll through social media and just wonder, how does this happen? How does some people get millions of followers while other people who are just as talented, just as interesting, get basically none? It seems like a few people get all the attention. Well, it turns out that's not an accident. And it's not just about the algorithm. It's about psychology.
I mean, it's the big question, right? You see this huge imbalance everywhere, not just online. And when we try to figure it out, our brains usually jump to one very convenient explanation. Yep, the algorithm. It's kind of the go-to villain for everything these days. This mysterious secret code that's deciding who wins and who loses. But here's the thing. While algorithms definitely pour gasoline on the fire, they didn't start it. They're just amplifying something that's way older and way more human. So, let's get into it. The real reason for this crazy imbalance isn't programmed into a computer. It's programmed into us. It's a core part of how our brains have evolved to work. And the secret to it all comes down to one powerful social force: prestige.
So what in the world is prestige? Well, it's the absolute key to unlocking this whole mystery of why we follow who we follow.
And this is the most important part right here. Prestige is influence we give to someone. It's voluntary. We choose to listen to them because we think, hey, this person knows something I don't, or I could learn from them. It's not about being forced to follow someone.
And this is where it gets really interesting, especially when you compare prestige to its opposite, dominance. Dominance is about taking power. Think of the alpha in a wolf pack. It's based on aggression. But prestige is given to you by the group. It's a much more human way to build a social structure, based on who has valuable skills, not just who's the strongest.
Okay, so if prestige is something we grant voluntarily, why do we all seem to grant it to the exact same people? This is where our brain's clever and kinda lazy programming kicks in. Just think about it from an evolutionary perspective for a second. Let's say you're trying to figure out who the best hunter in the tribe is. You could spend weeks studying everyone, or you could just see who everyone else is already following. If a huge crowd is listening to one person, odds are that person knows what they're doing. It's a mental shortcut. It's not always perfect, but man, is it efficient. And this is how a tiny spark turns into a wildfire. It all starts with just a small difference. Maybe one creator is just a little bit better or a little bit earlier. They get a few followers. But then, that small crowd becomes a giant social signal. New people come along and think, whoa, a lot of people are following them, they must be good, and they jump on board. And so it goes. The snowball just gets bigger and bigger, all on its own. This really nails it. Following the crowd is essentially a bet. We're betting that the judgment of all those other people is probably better than us just guessing on our own. And for most of human history, that's been a pretty good bet to make. It's a deep, powerful instinct. So, let's bring this all back to today. We've got this ancient psychological wiring in our brains, and now we've plugged it into the internet. And if our brains are the kindling for this follow the leader instinct, then social media platforms are like a fire hose of gasoline. I mean, social media is basically built to supercharge this entire process. Follower counts, that's a huge public scoreboard of who has prestige. Likes, shares, views, that's instant feedback on where the crowd is moving. So that self-reinforcing cycle that used to take months or years, now it happens in hours or even minutes. And the scariest part? That initial signal can be for anything, not just real skill, but maybe just a lucky viral moment. And the result? You get numbers like this, a scale that is just mind-boggling. It's a level of influence that would have been completely impossible for almost all of human history. The digital snowball effect is real, and it is massive. So here's the bottom line. The huge inequality of attention we see online isn't some kind of mistake or a bug in the system. It's a feature of us, of our own psychology, just blown up to a global scale by technology. We're all wired to follow the popular choice, and these platforms make it blindingly obvious what that choice is. And that leaves us with one last kind of tricky question, doesn't it? If we're all just instinctively following the signals of the crowd, who or what creates that very first signal? What gives that initial push that starts the whole snowball rolling down the hill? There's no easy answer, but just knowing this is happening, well, it makes you think a little differently the next time you go to hit that follow button.